Next Sunday, millions and millions of viewers will be watching the Super Bowl. It's the game of all games. It's literally an event. And throughout the coming week, there'll be all sorts of conversations, TV shows, articles, all kinds of rhetoric, talk about the players, who will win, the wagers that are made, who will be the best of the best. Not only the best player or the best team, but also the best commercial. Which coach will outsmart the other? It's the game of games. It's all about being the best. It's about being the champion. It's about being the winner. It's called the Super Bowl. It will consume the news. It will take up conversation at work. It will fill the newspapers, and the grocery stores will be flooded as people gather to their necessary things to have their celebrations and their parties. All for a game. Who will win? Who will be the best? Who will be the champion? The best of all the bests. And I believe today that our gospel poses something radically different for us to work on this coming week. The familiar Beatitude Gospel gives us God's playbook, so to speak, on how each of us should be living our lives. In this week, when there'll be so much conversation about being best, winning, victory, you and I are called to a victory of a different nature. Today's gospel focuses our attention on what it takes to share in the victory of heaven, to work on what matters most, winning in the ways of the Lord, kindness, mercy, righteousness, peacefulness, having a clean heart. So imagine how different this week can look if you and I, as people of faith, as the family of God, spent our week trying to be best, not at football, but at beatitude living. Imagine if, with all the passion that's in us, we spent our time to do something very different. It's something that every one of us can do, regardless of age, physical ability, gender. If we spent our time preparing, training, working as hard as we could to be best, victorious in the ways of the Lord, how different this week would look. How can we be best at being kind and merciful? How can we be best at bringing Christ's compassion and peace to our world? How can we be best at having a clean and righteous heart set on the Lord? How can we be best at having the bragging rights of giving all the credit in our life to God? Imagine how different our week could look. A week when so many will be caught up in winning a game. Imagine how different if you and I were caught up in being the best in the ways of the Lord, working as hard as we can to share in the victory of Jesus Christ. Then imagine what next Sunday would look like for us. There would be more peace in our hearts, more forgiveness and happiness in our homes. Our world would be a little bit better. And because we spent this week working as hard as we can to share in the ways of the Lord, we would be blessed.